thank you. This is Edward Lavilla for Chasing Freedom, Virginia, and I am the Outreach and Communications Chair. And right now we're doing an interview. Very interested. We're going to be seeing her video. We are interviewing the candidate for the 10th district, Manga Anantatmula. Before we talk to her, let's watch the video.
What is the future of America? An essential question, isn't it? An uncertainty looms large over our nation, a crossroads of challenges awaiting resolution. The answer to our future may not be in a what, but rather a who. What if the answer is Manga, running for Congress from the Virginia Congressional District 10? Manga, a passionate defender of the American dream, hailing from a lineage of freedom fighters, is a proud Navy mom, rooted in values of individual responsibility and self-reliance. She knows what it takes to keep the American dream alive. She vows to protect, defend, ensure, grow, create, and stand for the American people. Manga's passions are many, encompassing parental rights, defense of the Constitution, equal opportunities in education, the growth of businesses, job creation, and human rights. She's a staunch opponent of DEI, a firm advocate against human trafficking, and a supporter of securing the southern border. Her commitment to these issues is unwavering and her courage unmatched. Manga is not afraid to confront difficult issues. She has proven her courage and dedication. Manga isn't one to shy away from tough conversations. She boldly confronted the Pakistani ambassador on the violation of human rights of minority women. And let's not forget her staunch criticism of the Biden administration for the abandonment of our troops in Afghanistan. She was a key member of the team that got the affirmative action overturned in the Supreme Court. A fearless advocate, a tireless campaigner, a voice for the voiceless, Manga is not just a contender, but a fighter. Manga stands up for what she believes in. Manga is more than just a candidate. She embodies the spirit of America, standing tall for freedom and equality, a beacon of hope, a symbol of resilience. People's voice, America's future, Manga for Congress.
Well, I mean, that was a very good campaign video, Manga. Thank you for being with us and dedicate this time. We really appreciate it. What can you say about this video?
Well, it's an interesting video. It's an artificial intelligence created video. It's 100%. A strong supporter of mine sent it to me from Tennessee, and I was very surprised to see how artificial intelligence has captured everything from the past and made my footage with my campaign literature what I was trying to do. So I couldn't say anything better about myself than this video already had explained. And any quotes from that video are from the past. They are not my present endorsements. So that's the most intelligent AI, I would say, for it to pick from my past quotes and endorsements from the past.
Well, I mean, thank you for being here again, and we are excited of all the questions that we're going to be asking you and hearing your opinion and why you are the right candidate for the 10th district. So the first question is, we're going to be talking about family. So, I mean, we believe the family is the most essential and most empowered organization in our shared human experience. What are your thoughts on the status of the American family today? And if you were elected, what would you do to uplift and promote the restoration of the family?
Well, that's a very important and relevant question for what's happening today. The family role in children is completely diminishing. The schools have taken over the role of parents and they started co-parenting. And the actual family is what is a family structure that we as people and we as community believe in and have been in living with. And that's where the children learn most of their emotional experiences in life, and that's where they grow real emotions. Schools cannot be co-parenting, and that's where my thoughts are. And as your congresswoman, the first thing I want to do is bring back the parental rights, and that is the most important thing that is essential for the present day situation, and that's what needs the most important attention to, because children are our future, and we cannot keep pushing the importance of parental role and parental rights in raising families and children.
Well, the next questions, we're going to switch to civil rights. And based on that, we believe that all citizens, in order to realize their full potential, they are entitled to equal rights, they are entitled to equal justice and equal opportunity, but not equal outcomes. With regards to the civil rights, what do you think is the most pressing issues that we are facing today? And what would you do to help that situation?
Well, according to the Article 6 of our Constitution, Civil Rights, Article 6, it says equal rights. There should be no discrimination of race, gender, or any kind of discrimination of or any ethnic background. But what is happening right now is everything is being discriminated. Age, your gender, there is gender discrimination. And what kind of discrimination are we seeing in schools with no meritocracy? Asians are being discriminated systematically, and I had to go fight against Harvard University against affirmative action to stop that discrimination. And after we overturned the discrimination affirmative action in the Supreme Court, Joe Biden makes a statement that he wants to issue a executive order to uphold affirmative action. So is this the kind of leadership that we are putting in charge of our lives? Absolutely no discrimination. The best way not to discriminate anybody is not to differentiate between everybody. Meritocracy must exist, and meritocracy is the way to go in schools. And I'm not saying that other children must be left alone. I think we must have programs to identify uniqueness of every child in the school. Colleges and STEM programs are the not only programs that we must be supporting and promoting. I think trade skills are also very, very important, and every child is unique, and we must identify that uniqueness and nurture that uniqueness in the school so that they become the useful citizens. And let us keep our children busy with giving them the education that they love and they have passion for, instead of letting them sway away and not knowing what to do and how to handle the pressure of doing the subjects that they are not interested in. Why? That's the reason I think children are going more into drugs, and not by not keeping them busy. I think it's our responsibility to bring programs that interest children and to keep them engaged in proper education.
All right. And talking about criminal justice, we believe that men and women are innocent until proven guilty. What are your concerns regarding the criminal justice systems as it is today? And if elected, what would you do? For example, would you do mass incarceration, prisons, U.S. drug policy, etc.? What would be that things that you're going to do if you're elected?
Equal justice is important, and that's what is our pledge of allegiance, right? Equal opportunity and equal justice under the law and under God. I mean, that's what we are all born equal. Nobody should be discriminated. Yes, we must have our justice system in place, but that should be disengaging with politics. Now our justice system is so entrenched into politics. Are we really seeing justice in the major sphere where people can actually feel that there is justice in this community, in this country that we are seeing right now? What kind of justice system are we living with when there is a former president being witch hunted for all silly things that they cannot even prove, they are trying to take away his businesses. They are trying to prove him wrong. The DOJ is trying to, and the judges are trying to promote their own family members to support the present political administration. I think our justice system and DOJ is crumbling down at the higher level, and I'm sure they must be doing great job at the lower levels and other places. But at the highest level, I think the DOJ is crumbling down, and I must, as some congresswoman, will be tackling disengaging DOJ with politics. I think that is the most essential part of justice system that we need changes in. Judges must be impartial. They are here to provide justice, and that's all they should be doing, not favoring a political party.
And just switching gears with the criminal justice system, but also keeping in the same subject, let's talk about the Second Amendment. Some states, including Virginia, have passed red flag laws that also refer as to gun violent restraining orders, extreme risk protection orders, or emergency substantial risk orders. What are your thoughts about these laws, and what will you do about them if you're elected?
Well, Second Amendment is to stay. Guns don't kill people. I always say this, guns don't kill people. People kill people. When people kill people, there's definitely that element of mental health issues. Let us start focusing not on the symptoms, but let's start focusing on the cause of this gun violence. Unstable families, unstable parenting. These are the things that are really causing children to be involved in gun violence. And what kind of video games are we allowing our children to play with? They are being insensitized by certain video games. That element of it also causes certain amount of violence that our children and teenagers are involved in. I think guns don't kill people. I think there should be responsible ownership of guns. I think most gun owners are responsible, and not having guns and trying to take away guns is not a solution for the gun violence that people, that the left is always trying to blame and pin on. Now, the reason for gun violence is the mental health issues of adults or adolescents. I think we must start tackling mental health issues more closely and more seriously.
Huh. And talking about life, and we believe that all life is precious and they have to be protected. But what are your thoughts regarding children conceived in the case of rape or incest?
And are we talking about minors?
Yeah, I mean, minors or adults. I mean, the people that are being raped or incest, should they, what do you think about those children? Can they be aborted, or we need to protect all life?
Well, we definitely need, I'm always for protecting life, because life is something that is very precious. You are responsible for the unborn, for the safety of the unborn. Otherwise, none of us would be on earth today, living and breathing. You know, that's the example our parents have left with us, that life is important. But in case of minors becoming pregnant, in cases of rape and incest, that is a very huge question that we need to start asking ourselves as adults and as women, as mothers, as uncles and aunts. I have known a case myself where a minor, a 12-year-old kid, was raped, and she was pregnant, and she was devastated Uh, how can we make that decision for a minor? Should the parent, should that adult in that family not be making? If I'm fighting for parental rights, for schools not interfering with the parental decisions in cases of gender confusions in the school, that the parents should be the ones to make such decisions. I think in cases of kids becoming, small girls becoming pregnant by incest or rape, I think it's for the parent to decide, because and the emotional trauma that a kid goes through, along with the physical trauma, I don't know. I have seen that family fall apart. I've seen that kid completely break down and could not come out of that shell for a couple of years. So I have seen that trauma myself, how that family has to handle that situation. I think such cases, I think the doctors and the parents must decide what's best depending on the mental condition of the child and the physical condition of the child.
And talking about the constitutions, I mean, we believe that the Constitution is the law of the land, and our individual rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, as enriched in the Bill of Rights, serve to limit the government as it was intended by the founding fathers. What have you done over the course of your life in demonstration of that belief?
Can you come again, please, with that question?
Yeah, so the Constitution is the law of the land, and also our individual rights to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, enriched in the Bill of Rights, that we need to limit the government, and that's how the founding fathers wanted us to.
Absolutely, absolutely. The government interference in our life should be minimal. We must have free market. We must have free will. We must be able to engage in business privately, and the government overlooking our shoulders all the time is not democracy. It is not republic. It is simply autocratic.
Okay.
So for me, the life is very important, and even Bill of Rights is absolutely important, and constitutional rights is what I would defend through and through. And for me, yes, abortion is a sin. Bill of Rights is must. Free market, and this is a republic. We are not democracy. We are republic. So free market and minimum governance of interference of the government in people's life is absolutely important for me.
And in terms of national defense, what do you think is the most pressing national defense issue today? And what will you do to protect the United States from this threat?
Well, our open borders is the biggest threat to this nation today. From our southern borders, there are millions of illegals coming into this country every single day. I think the last year alone, there were 7 million people who came into this country as illegals. And now the newer trend is there is one small opening from San Diego, from where the Chinese immigrants would enter into US illegally with high technology, high tech gadgets, and stashes of money. They come in and they disappear in Wuba. Why are they coming with that much of money and that much, that many state-of-art technology gadgets?
Huh.
It is something very seriously troubling that we must start focusing on. What is happening in our borders is the most alarming national security issue that we face today. And also the drug cartels, all those drugs and fentanyl and other drugs that's flowing into this country and getting into the hands of the wrong people. And it's our children that are being affected by these drugs. The safety and law and order in our communities is going down, and we are at threat. The safety is at threat. The shops are being looted every single day. What are we doing to stop? And we are housing them in hotels.
Mhm.
We are emptying schools. We are closing down the schools and housing illegals in schools. How bad is this situation? Is this even safe for Americans and the American soil? I think the biggest threat is the open borders right now that we face.
I'm talking about economy. You just mentioned the threat on the south border, but what would be your opinion is the single most pressing economic issue that we're facing today, and what would you do to fix that situation?
Well, the single most, what is more concerning today is United States dumping billions of dollars into Ukraine war while our own veterans are homeless. They don't have medical care. They don't have food to eat. We are letting our veterans be on the streets, our own Americans, where we are supposed to be picking them up and helping them. We are letting them suffer while we are focusing more on spending money on other countries. Ukraine did not go into this war because it wanted to, or it had resources that enough resources that it had. It went into war because United States is funding. United States is backing this. Right from day one, I was against it, and I'm still against. I will not approve a single dollar to Ukraine war, and I would divert that money to our veterans, to our military establishments, to Americans that are homeless, that we need to take care of first.
Okay, thank you for the answer. And now we're going to switch to our beloved Commonwealth of Virginia. And we believe that our history and the associated memory of serve as a guidepost in our journey as a Virginians and as a nation, to serve as a reminder to our sacrifices and warning for things that happened in the past for future generations. What are your thoughts on the current events regarding historical monuments, and what would you do to restore and protect our historical symbols in Virginia, our icons, our statues, our traditions?
History is what we are today. History is the identity of what Americans are today. That is the bedrock of American culture, where we came from. Our history is supposed to be for lessons learned, for good or bad. I think erasing the history is not a solution. Remembering the history, keeping the monuments, and learning the valuable lessons is what we need. Once you remove all the monuments, all the history, you erase all the history, what is it that we are going to identify ourselves with? Are we creating a new world order? Are we creating new culture? Are we creating a new United States of America? No, that's not our identity. What our founding fathers has established as the fundamental constitution to identify ourselves and the values of true values of United States, that's what we are, and that's who we are. And I think keeping our foot strong and roots deeper into our founding fathers, what they have given us through our constitution, is the key to keeping our culture and the American values.
All right, and shifting to education, now that you mentioned that, what role do you believe the state has in education regarding to morality, religion, gender, identity, etc.? And if you were elected, would you change anything?
Definitely, God is completely vanished. The word God is completely vanished from schools. Only when you believe in religion, you talk about morality. When there's no religion, you don't attach anything to morality. The reason why the morality and the way we feel about our national anthem and our flag is diminishing because our moralities have changed. I think the first step is to bring religion back. We must have a good, moderate amount of religion, morality in our school curriculum. That is very important. Otherwise, today we only have in God we trust on dollar bills, but not in lives, not in families, not in communities, not in our schools. Time to bring it back. Who, if you don't like the dollar, then there's no reason for you to be an American living in the United States and wanting to have dollars. If you believe in United States and if you believe in a dollar, then what's on it is what you need to also embrace. That is, in God we trust.
All right. And one of our, we're almost at the end of the questions here, but one question about the veterans is, in the past, how have you supported veterans and veterans issues?
Well, I've always wanted veterans to have health insurance policies like any civilians do. Why are we locking them with the medical benefit that they get from the Veterans Affairs? They may not be getting the treatment or the care that they need immediately because of that. Maybe they don't have enough resources. No, we must open up our insurances for our veterans. Why should, and let them get reimbursed from Veterans Affairs. I mean, if Veterans Affairs cannot provide certain services, fine, it's okay. But they may not be having all the resources, but then we should not allow our veterans to be suffering, not getting any help or not getting any medical assistance outside of the facility. They should be allowed and they should be reimbursed or they should be paying for those benefits that they take outside. But leaving them not having any benefits, not having resources to treat them is so unacceptable. I think that's what I've always been saying, and I will continue to say this until this situation has changed. And I think I want to be that congresswoman to bring that legislation and say, no, our veterans come first. They have served and sacrificed for this country, and they deserve to be treated better than what we are treating them now.
And well, here comes the two last questions. I think probably one of the most important ones for the voters. What is your favorite book and why?
My favorite book, I'm not going to lie, Bhagavad Gita is my favorite book. My thinking has opened up. The way I look at things, life and humanity has changed after I have read Bhagavad Gita. It gives me solutions. It teaches me how to be not self-centered. It teaches me why it's important to put the communities before you. It taught me that if you're part of a community and you work to be the person to do everything for the betterment of the community, then you're already part of that community. So you're anyway part of that community and you're taken care of. So the community always should be on top of your own personal needs because you're anyway part of the community. You're anyway being served. You don't need to put yourself above the community. So if that has given me that kind of a strong grounding and a force to move forward with that strong thinking and belief, I think that would be my favorite book.
Okay, amazing. And if you could meet any person, any historical figure, who that person would be, and what would you talk about?
Historic person. I would, if Abraham Lincoln was alive today, that would be my first hero that I would want to meet and thank him for having that vision of making this country the land of immigrants. Without that vision of his, I'm sure the hell must have broken loose on him when he first suggested, oh, let's bring immigrants. No, I'm sure it must not have been easy, but I think he achieved. I wanted to know what in that tough situation did he do to make people realize how important it was to open up for the immigrants, legal immigrants, I'm saying. Now, let people not quote me for illegal immigrants. No, I'm talking about the legal immigrants. I think that would be my first historic hero. And if I have to pick a hero from the present day, I think I would want to meet with President Trump for two things that he has done. One, in his early business days when he was a young businessman, he taught Hindus why religious, that's an important. When I was fighting the affirmative action, we knocked on several doors for help. President Trump, when we knocked on White House doors, he gave us an appointment. And when we presented our case with his team, they said, let us talk to our president. If there is discrimination, we will get back to you and we will help you. And after 3 weeks or 1 month, whatever the time period, they came back to us saying, we are going to help you. And he gave a commission that looked into this discrimination and gave us a lot of help and a lot of money and resources to make things move forward. So my gratitude, I think every Asian and every American must thank President Trump for being there and being bold to say there is discrimination and here is your commission that will help you. You know, that is phenomenal. That is kudos. I think for me, that is worth saying thank you in person, and that will be my hero.
You're right, bro.
Because he changed the law of 1964. That actually changed the law of 1964, Civil Rights Act 6. You know?
All right, after Abraham Lincoln. Well, God, thank you very much, Manga. I really appreciate your time and your kind answers to all the questions. Well, we want to thank you on behalf of Chasing Freedom Virginia. Appreciate.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thanks, Chasing Freedom Virginia, for having me for doing this interview. Thank you.
Well, guys, we'll see you in the next interview.